प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन विभूति फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सो कदम कानन प्रभु Prabhu, my
Yes,
humble
Prabhuji.
request, we'll just skip the introduction, Prabhu. I have already, you have given me chance to address your congregation in the past. So we can just get started, Prabhu, if you give me permission.
Prabhuji, I am your servant. I'll obey you.
Oh, Prabhu, I am your servant. But yes, let's get started. Thank you so much, dear Kadambakanand Prabhu, dear Ram Kumar Prabhu, and dear Yugal Kishore Prabhu. Although I'm totally unqualified to speak before all of you exalted devotees of ISKCON New Farmington Hills, but still you have given me this chance and you are accepting this humble service from me. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you very much. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramakha Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Parakriya वासुदेव परम ज्ञानम वासुदेव परम तपः वासुदेव परो धर्मो वासुदेव परागतिः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। आराध्यो भगवान् व्रजेश तनयस्तद्धाम वृन्दावनम् रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधू वर्गेण या कल्पिता। श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्रादरानापरा। Hare Krishna. So dear devotees, today we are reading from Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter number 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varahadev. We'll begin with text number 1 and we'll be reading the first 4 verses. So, Shri Shuka Uvacha Nishamya Vacham Vadato Mune Punya Tamam Nripa Bhuya Prapracha Kauravyo Vasudeva Kathadritaha. Translation and purport by our most beloved founder Acharya Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtottar Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from the sage Maitreya, Vidur inquired further on the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear. So here, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, the word Adritaha is significant because it indicates that Vidur had a natural inclination for hearing the transcendental message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was never fully satisfied through continuing to hear these topics. Vidur wanted to hear more and more so that he could be more and more blessed by the transcendental message. So here, Adritaha means one who adores, one who admires, one who has respect. So Vidur, he adored Krishna Katha, the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. And therefore he was eager to hear from Maitreya Muni, who was a very qualified Tattvadarshi Guru. Tattvadarshi because he had direct audience of Lord Krishna. When Lord Krishna at Prabhasa Kshetra was instructing Uddhav, Maitreya Muni happened to be there and he heard the transcendental message from Krishna. So Maitreya Muni became self-realized and he became qualified as a guru. Sei Vipra Sei Nyasi Shudra Kene Mai Jai Krishna Tattvavetta Sei Guru Hai. What is the qualification of Shri Guru? Anyone who knows Krishna Tattva, anyone who knows Krishna in Tattva as he is, such a person in Parampara can become a Guru. So Maitreya Muni was very qualified, and Vidur, who is himself extremely qualified, he is a Mahajan. And our path is the path of Mahajanoyena Gatha Sapantha. Tarko apratishtha shrutayo vibhinna nashavrishiriyasya matam na bhinnam dharmo hite dharmasya tattvam nihitam vihaya mahajanoyena gata sapantha. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajanoyena gata sapantha. Tarko apratishtha. We cannot establish dharma through tarka. Tarka means arguments. By debating, by arguing, we cannot establish dharma. Tarko apratishtha. Pratishtha means to establish. Apratishtha means we cannot establish. We cannot establish the truth simply by arguments. Tarko apratishtha. Why we cannot do that? Because Shrutayo Vibhinna. Because the Vedic literature deals with people, sadhakas of different levels of spiritual realization, different backgrounds. If we read Shiva Puran, we will hear glorification of Lord Shiva. So if we read Vishnu Puran, we will come to the conclusion that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of God. If we read Devi Puran, we will come to the conclusion that Devi, Parvati Devi, Durga Devi is the Supreme. So Shrutayo Vibhinna, because the Vedic literature deals with people influenced by the different modes of material nature. And therefore, there is something for everyone in the scriptures. Shrutayo Vibhinna. And therefore, when we argue, someone may quote scripture that aligns with their viewpoint. And they will give quotes, they will give references. And therefore, my dear friends, as devotees in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness ISKCON, we must desist from writing comments on the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube, on WhatsApp, on social media, and debating and arguing on the internet forum. Life is not meant for this. Because anyway, by arguments, we are simply satisfying our ego. I defeated. But the person who is being defeated, the heart will never change because that person's ego is hurt. Our ego is inflated and that person's ego is hurt. And when the ego is hurt, the person will never accept the message with an open heart. So it's like in our medical terms, if someone has appendicitis, someone's appendix is infected and inflamed, and you just take a knife and stab the patient in the belly, the appendix is bad, I have to get rid of the appendix, and you thrust your hand inside the belly and pluck out the appendix and throw it. Yes, I have removed the appendix, I have done appendectomy. What is the use? The patient is dead. The purpose of performing an appendectomy, removal of the infected appendix, is to save the patient's life, to help the patient. So operation successful, but patient is dead. What is the use? Such an operation is useful only when Lord Narasimhadev performs it. He did that. He plucked out the heart of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu died. But Hiranyakashipu got liberation. Hiranyakashipu got liberation. Only Supreme Lord can do. But for us, we have to simply remove the appendix and let the patient live a healthy life because of the removal of the infected appendix. So our purpose as preachers in the line of Srila Prabhupada is to change the hearts of people. My spiritual master Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he tells what should be the mood of a preacher. Everyone we meet, we should think that my service to this person, I am this person's servant. I am everyone's servant. Whether brand new devotee or a experienced devotee, I am everyone's servant. Dasosmi. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would end all his letters with Dasosmi. I am servant. So we are everyone's servant. Whenever we meet someone, my service to this person is to try my best to bring this person closer to Krishna. To bring this person closer to Krishna. If someone is in the mode of passion and ignorance, at least try to bring them a little bit to mode of goodness. Something about environment friendliness, something about giving up meat eating, something about being charitable and kind. If someone is in the mode of goodness, then we try to bring them to the mode of Shuddha Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva, or transcendental mode. So our service is to bring them a little bit closer to Krishna. At least we should not perform the disservice of taking someone away from Krishna. That is operation successful, but the patient is dead. That we should never do. So we have to be intelligent. We should never engage in these internet debates. One devotee was once telling me that as ISKCON devotees, we have to become internet kshatriyas. We have to become intellectual kshatriyas. We have to become shastric kshatriyas. So we fight and we debate and we comment and we refute and we like and dislike on Facebook and internet as kshatriyas. In kshatriya school, we have to fight on the internet. We have to debate on the internet because we are internet kshatriyas. This world needs kshatriyas who will fight. But this is not good. This is not the mood of our Guru Varga. This is not authorized by any of our acharyas. This is nonsense. Because we will simply commit Vaishnava Aparadha and we will fall down. There's only one result of this internet fighting, arguing. We commit Vaishnava Aparadha and our spiritual progress gets covered. Our spiritual progress gets impeded. We should be very careful. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayad swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchchate. In the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains how our speech should be. What is perfection of speech? What is the austerity for speech? Anudvegakaram vakyam. We should not unnecessarily agitate others with our speech. Anudveg. Udveg means to agitate. Anudvegakaram vakyam. With our vakya, with our speech, we should not unnecessarily agitate others. People like to give bad news. Bad news. If some devotee is sick or some devotee has passed away, we want to be the first person to post it on WhatsApp group. This person has passed away. One very nice devotee suddenly left his body, and devotees were so enthusiastic to post on WhatsApp group that this devotee has passed away, this devotee is dead, that the wife of that devotee found out in a WhatsApp group that her husband had died. No one even had the courtesy, the human kindness to first make sure that the devotee's family is aware. Because we are on so many common groups, people are so enthusiastic to give bad news. This person has died of COVID. This person is yes, it may appear that the intention is good. We want devotees to pray for the devotee who is going through a difficult time. But there are appropriate authorities who will post it. Why should we be so enthusiastic to share and forward and post and repost? There are senior devotees, there are counselors, there are mentors, there are group admins, they will post. When we come to know such bad news, we should simply become serious and pray for that devotee. Instead of spending time on WhatsApp and forwarding it, we want to be the first person to share. I have the most updated knowledge in the world of ISKCON. So we have to be careful, my dear friends. Anudvega karam vakyam, satyam. We have to be sure that what we are speaking is the truth. And who is the supreme truth? It is Lord Krishna. Mataha parataram na anyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana eva. There is no truth superior to me. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurla. Krishna is everything. Krishna is the param satya. Satyam param dhimahi. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So our speech should be truthful. Satyam, priya. It should be pleasing. It should be spoken in a pleasing way. We may speak the truth, but we can speak it in a very unpalatable way. No, speech should be pleasing. Priya. Satyam, Priya, Hitam Chayat. And it should be for the benefit of the person. Like Srila Radhana Swami Maharaj said, we have to bring the person closer to Krishna. It should benefit. If our speech is going to take them away from Krishna, better we keep quiet and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Just keep chanting Hare Krishna. Speech is meant in Krishna's, is meant to be used in Krishna's service. Ridavak Vapur Bhir Vidadhan Namaste. Jivetayo Mukti Sapade Daya. With our body, mind, and words, our heart, we have to offer it to Krishna. Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kichu More Arapilu Tua Pade Nanda Kishore. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we have got power of speech, we have got intelligence, we have to use it in Krishna's service. So Anudvega Karam Vakyam Satyam Priya Hitam Chayat Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva Vangmayam Tapa Uchate. Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva. We have got so many scriptures. We have Srila Prabhupada gave us Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's 11,000 verses. And Srila Prabhupada also gave us the 11 jewel-like verses of Upadeshamrita, nectar of instruction. Srila Prabhupada gave us summary study of nectar of devotion, Ishopanishad. Srila Prabhupada also, through his disciples, like Shri Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu, has given us Krishna Leelastava, has given us Tattva Sandarbha, has given us Shri Brihad Bhagavata Amrit, and through His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj, he has given us such amazing books written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan. All their books have been translated. All their commentaries have been translated. Jiva Goswami's commentary. Everything has been translated and it's there for us. All we have to do is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaya. Instead of getting our spiritual knowledge from WhatsApp and Facebook and internet, let us read Srila Prabhupada's books, the printed books. The printed books. Let us sit down with Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of a deity, the Pustak, the book Bhagavatam, and read. Let's read Srila Prabhupada's books. Let's read the books of our acharyas. That is perfection. And let's memorize those verses. Let's recite those shlokas. That is perfection of Vangmaya. That is perfection of our speech. Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaivam Vangmayam Tapa Uchate. Lord Krishna says. So Shri Vidurji is teaching us this principle. Ears are meant to hear Krishna Katha. Tongue is meant to speak Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam. And mind and intelligence is meant to be used in the service of Krishna. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhaja. Mai arpita mano buddhir mam eva shashya samshaya. In the 8th chapter, Lord Krishna gives formula how we can approach it. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. At all times, mam anusmara. We should remember Krishna. Sarveshu kaleshu. Not just 2 hours in the morning when we are chanting. We are not part-time devotees, my dear friend. Sometimes it is said that, oh, he's a brahmachari, he's a full-time devotee. So grahasthas have got license to do sense gratification? Absolutely no. Srila Prabhupada never said like that. Out of the 12 Mahajans, so many Mahajans, 7 Mahajans are grihasthas. Lord Shiva, the greatest Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, is a grihastha. Lord Brahmaji is a grihastha. Our Yamrajji, who is Vidur, is a grihastha. So many of the Prahlad Maharaj is a grihastha. Bali Maharaj is a grihastha. They are all Mahajans. They are grihasthas. So even Narad Muni, when he comes in Gaur, Narad Muni is a brahmachari and he is a Mahajan. But when Shripad Narad Muni comes in Gaur Leela, he is Srivas Thakur. He has a wife, he has brothers, he has house. He even had a son who died. So Srivas Thakur is a grihastha. Even Hanumanji, when he comes in Gaur Leela, he is Murari Gupta. And he has a wife and he has a family, he has a house. So householders have no license to become loose and to engage in sense gratification. We should never say that, oh, brahmachari, sannyasi, they are full-time devotees. Vanaprastha, full-time devotees. And Therefore, I have got a license to be part-time devotees. Nobody is a part-time devotee. Srila Prabhupada did not establish ISKCON to create part-time devotees. Srila Prabhupada said, you have to always chant Hare Krishna. Always chant Hare Krishna. I will show one of my favorite purports of Srila Prabhupada. One second. Simply amazing. It shows Srila Prabhupada's heart. We go to 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and we go to this very important verse number 5. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, and whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. And let us see what Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport. In this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And now see what Srila Prabhupada says. These are Srila Prabhupada's words in the 8th chapter, verse number 5 purport of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Srila Prabhupada is giving instructions to all of us, my dear friends. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 rounds is the bare minimum, my dear friends. Srila Prabhupada is clearly instructing us. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra. And Srila Prabhupada is so Namanishta Acharya. He is mentioning the Hare Krishna Mahamantra second time in that same purport. So this is wonderful. Srila Prabhupada has directly instructed us that we have to be always chanting Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna also says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says, Satatam Kirtayanto Ma Yatantascha Dridhavrataha Namasyantasya Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasata. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. We have to always chant Hare Krishna. Not just 16 rounds. Always we have to chant while bathing, while brushing our teeth, while we are in the Shauchalaya, while we are driving, while we are walking from the parking lot to our workplace, while we are doing our grocery shopping in the grocery store. Whatever we are doing, my dear friends, the tongue has to constantly vibrate the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is nothing else. There is nothing else in Kali Yuga that works. Brahma stamba paryantam sarvam maya mayam jagat satyam satyam punah satyam harer namayeva kevalam. There are so many eyewitnesses in Shri Vrindavan Dham who attest to the fact that Srila Prabhupada would chant all day when he was living in Radha Damodar temple. Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami writes in his book TKG Diary that Srila Prabhupada chanted at least 64 rounds all his life. Only towards the end, slowly decreased because of his health, his traveling, having to write so many letters, having to manage an international society. We should ask Yugal Kishore Prabhu how difficult it is to serve one congregation. Srila Prabhupada had 108 temples and thousands of disciples. And he was managing it without internet, without WhatsApp group, without Facebook groups. He was just managing it through letters, through his personal example. So because of all that, he did not have the time to chant 64 rounds towards the end. And his health also was very. So gradually decreased. But all his life, Srila Prabhupada chanted 64 rounds at least. Some sadhus say that they have seen with their own eyes when Srila Prabhupada was doing his bhajan in Shri Radha Damodar temple in Sevakunj Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada would chant 192 rounds. Hare Krishna. The pujari in Shri Navadvip Dham at Advaita Bhavan, that famous story is there. Before coming to America, Srila Prabhupada visited Calcutta. From there, he went to Mayapur to take permission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. At that time, Srila Prabhupada visited the house of Advaita Prabhu in Shantipur, Advaita Bhavan. And there, from morning to night, with tears streaming down his lotus eyes, our Srila Prabhupada would chant, sitting in one position. That pujari also says, like Thakur Haridas, 192 round, Srila Prabhupada would chant, praying for the blessings of Sita Thakurani and Advaita Prabhu and Sri Achyutananda and Sri Gopal to bless him so that he can serve his Guru Maharaj. He can serve the mission of Sri Guru. It is Naam that gives us strength. 99% of our spiritual life, Srila Prabhupada commented, is chanting Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is saying always incessantly chant Hare Krishna. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying Sadatam Kirtayantomam, always chant. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the last chapter of the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he gives us the Shikshashtakam verses, in the third verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gives the same message. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Always chant the name of Hari. To Subudhi Rai also he instructs, Prabhu ko hai aita tumi jao Vrindavan, nirantara karo tumi Krishna Sankirtan. Nirantara karo tumi Krishna Sankirtan. Constantly, incessantly. Exactly how Srila Prabhupada is saying. We should never think that I have finished my 16 rounds and now I'm done. Now I can read the newspaper. Now I can browse CNN and Fox News. It is absolutely waste of time, my dear friends. Human life is so short. So short. After going through so many species, finally we have got a human birth. Finally we are in Krishna consciousness. Finally we have found Sadguru. We should be on fire, my dear friends. We should be on fire, red alert, emergency. We have to perfect our lives. We have to become 100% Krishna conscious, not 50% Krishna conscious, 60% Krishna conscious. Nirantara karo tumi Krishna Sankirtan. Prabhu ko hai jao tumi aite Vrindavan. We have to live in Vrindavan Dham in our hearts, and we have to constantly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So sweet. Madhuram madhure bheyopi, mangale bheyopi mangalam, pavanam pavane bheyopi harer namaiva kevalam. Shri Nilakantha Goswami says, Madhuram madhure bheyopi, sweeter than all sweets. Mangale bheyopi mangalam, the most auspicious of all auspicious things. Pavanam pavane bhyupi, and the most purifying of all purifying things. Harer namaiva kevalam. Harer namaiva kevalam. Therefore, we must associate with devotees who inspire us to do more Nam Bhajan, to do more Vaishnava Seva. Because that is the purpose of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Satyaraj Khan from the village of Kulia that Prabhu kahe Vaishnav Seva Nama Sankirtan Dui kar Shigra Pave Shri Krishna Charan. Quickly, if you want to achieve the lotus feet of Krishna, Mahaprabhu gives this formula. Just do two things. Prabhu kahe Vaishnav Seva Nama Sankirtan Dui kar Shigra Pave Shri Krishna Charan. Just Vaishnav Seva and Nam Sankirtan. You have to serve the devotees, never criticize anyone. You have to serve the devotees, and we have to constantly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When Rup Goswami and Anupam came to visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag, when Mahaprabhu was at the house of Shripad Vallabhacharya. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Shripad Vallabhacharya, this is Rup and his younger brother Anupam. But don't go near them because you are a very high class Brahman. And they are low class because they have served the Muslim king, Nawab Hussain Shah. So Shripad Vallabhacharya, he knows that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is testing him. He says no. Now Sri Vallabh Bhatt, Shripad Vallabhacharya, he is an incarnation of Shukdev Goswami. If we read Gaura Ganodesh Deepika of Srila Kavi Karnapur, the son of Shivananda Sen, we come to know that Shukadev Goswami, who is speaking today, Sri Shuka Uvacha in this verse number 1, this Shukadev Goswami, the parent of Srimati Radharani, he incarnated in Gaura Leela as Shripad Vallabhacharya. And later on, he became the Acharya of the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya. He gave the mantra Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. And throughout Gujarat and in the Govardhan area, and so many other places all over the world, Shripad Vallabhacharya has preached. So Shripad Vallabhacharya, who is mentioned extensively in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, who was an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is an incarnation of Shukdev Goswami. So he knew that Mahaprabhu is testing. He knew that this Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, the most intimate associate of Srimati Radhika Rani. Because he is a parent of Radharani, Shukdev Goswami. He knows who is Rupa Manjari. So Mahaprabhu is testing. Mahaprabhu is saying, Shripad Vallabhacharya, you are a high class Brahman. But this Rupa and Anupam, they are not so high class. They have served Nawab Hussain Shah all their youth. So Shripad Vallabhacharya, he quotes the verse that Yah jivagre vartate nama tubhyam. Aho patashva pachato gariya. Yah jivagre vartate nama tubhyam. That one may be born in the family of dog eaters. Shvapacha. But if jivagre, on the tip of the tongue, vartate nama tubhyam, if Krishna, your name is being chanted by that tongue, doesn't matter whether that person is Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra, doesn't matter. Naham vipro nacha narapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varani nacha grihapatir no vanastu yatirva kintu prodhyam nikhila paramananda purnamritabdher gopi bhartu padakamalayora dasa dasa dasa. It doesn't matter. Dinera adhika daya kare bhagavan pandita kulina dhani bada abhiman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Antya Leela, he tells Shri Sanatana Goswami, Dinera adhika daya kare bhagavan. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, he bestows more mercy on the deen, on the humble, those who are humble, those who consider themselves impoverished, fallen, akinchana, Swam akinchana gochar, Janma Aishwara Shruta Shrivir, these are impediments. Sanatana Goswami considered himself very deen. I am fallen, I am neej jati, my body is covered with ulcers. More na chuniya Prabhu, pado to mar paye, niche jati adhamar, kandura sagay. Please don't touch me, my dear Lord. Niche jati, adhama, I am most fallen, I belong to a low caste. Morena chuniya Prabhu, pado tomar pai. I fall at your feet, don't touch me, don't touch me. Niche jati adhama ar kandu rasagay. And there are ulcers which are weeping pus and blood and foul smell all over. Don't touch me, don't touch me. And Mahaprabhu would forcefully embrace Sanatana Goswami. Dinera adhika daya kare Pandita kulina dhani bada abhiman. And those who have got wealth, knowledge, this, that, bada abhiman. They are very proud. But Mahaprabhu does not care about those who are proud. Pride cometh before the fall. Mahaprabhu gives mercy to the Deena Daya. Ai Deena Daya Ardranath hai, Mathuranath Kadavalokyase, Hridayam Twadaloka Kataram Daita Brahmati Kim Karomya. So Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna, they bestow their mercy on the meek and the humble. So Shripad Vallabhacharya says that Mahaprabhu just look at Rupa and Anupam. Look at Rupa Goswami and Anupam. Their cheeks, this is mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, my dear friends, in the Madhya Leela. Their cheeks are constantly vibrating like this. Because within their mouth, Upamshu, they are chanting. There are three ways of chanting Hare Krishna. We know there is Vachik, loud, like we are talking now. There is Upamshu, where only the tongue and the lips vibrate. And the mantra is in the mouth, Upamshu. And then there is Vachik, where the lips and the tongue are also not moving. The mantra is going on only in the mind. Like we do for Gayatri mantra. So there are three types of chanting: Vachik, Upamshu, and Manasik. And Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, when they were not doing Vachik Japa, like they're standing waiting in attendance that Mahaprabhu will give us audience. So Upamshu Japa was constantly going on. Nirantara karotumi Krishna Sankirtan. They're always chanting, always chanting. So this is what we have to learn, my dear friends. Vidur is teaching us. He always wants to hear about Krishna, and he always wants to speak about Krishna. Therefore, Vidur is a Mahajan. Now we go to verse number 2. Vidura Uvacha. Savai Swayambhu Samrat Priya Putraha Swayambhuvaha Pratilabhya Priyam Patnim Kim Chakar Tato Mune. In the interest of time, my dear friends, we are not reading the word to word. Actually, Srila Prabhupada likes us to read the word to word also. Translation: Vidur said, "O great sage, what did Swayambhuva, the dear son of Brahma, do after obtaining his very loving wife?" So now creation has been described. Now Brahmaji is doing the secondary creation. Atra sarga visargasya sthanam poshanam uttaya manvantareshanu katha nirodho muktir ashraya. The 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Lord Krishna creates the Mahat Tattva, which consists of the whole material energy. Bhumirapo nalo vayukham manobuddhirevacha ahankara ityame bhinna prakriti ashtada. That is sarga. That is primary creation. And then Brahmaji, taking these ingredients given by Lord Vishnu, creates the universe. That is secondary creation. That is Visarga. So that has been described. Now Brahmaji has offered his prayers in the preceding chapters to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, to give him the energy to create the material world. So all that has been described. Now Swayambhuva Manu has come, who is the first Manu in this day of Brahma. So Vidur wants to know what did he do, because Vidur is a Mahajan, he is Yamraj, and Swayambhuva Manu is also a Mahajan. Grihastha Mahajan. So what did he do? What did he do with his wife, Shatarupa? So Vidur said, "Oh great sage Maitreya Muni, what did Shri Swayambhuva Manu do, the son of Brahma, after obtaining his very loving wife?" So now I was going to cover till verse number 4, my dear friends, but I will stop here because we have already run out of time. So it's almost 9:05. So I will stop here, but this just tells us, the message is that Vidur is always eager to hear about Krishna. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana ridantastohi abhadrani vidhunoti suritsatam. Just by hearing about Krishna and Krishna's devotees, our hearts become completely purified. So this is the message of today's Bhagavatam class, that we should cut out all news channels, news magazines, news feeds, news applications from our smartphone. It's a waste of time. Internet is like the mind. It can either be a greatest enemy or it can be the greatest friend. We can use the internet for ISKCON Desiratory, accessing wonderful lectures without any ads, just nice audio, and hear Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. There is hours and hours and hours. Hari Katha spoken by our Guru Varga and senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Or we can go to specific YouTube channels and hear from our Guru Varga. Or the internet can be used to read Prajalpa, mundane gossip. All this news, they just present it like that, my dear friends. Breaking news. You have to know about this, that, what this said, what this said. But actually, it's all not necessary. They project it like that. It is the breaking news. You have to know this. But it just eats away our precious time. So we should not do that. We should instead read Srila Prabhupada's books and Srila Prabhupada's disciples' books. They are churning out so much nectar. Like His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj has come out with the book, I'll Build Your Temple. Such a beautiful book. Our Yugal Kishore Prabhu and his team, they gave me very beautiful book. Amazing book. I'm reading it now. 700 pages of nectar about the Juhu temple. So there is so much to read. His Holiness Mukunda Goswami has written, what is that book? Miracle on 26th Second Avenue. His Grace Shama Sundar Prabhu has written Chasing Rhinos. Her Grace Yamuna Devi, she has written her book Life of Pure Devotion. So there is so much to read. His Holiness Satswarup Maharaj has given us the Nectarian 7-volume Sri Prabhupada Leela Amrit. And there are so many books. There is TKG Diary. I've got actually one full Ocean of Mercy by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. I've got one full shelf, just biographies of Srila Prabhupada, written by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Srila Prabhupada, our best friend, by Amula Prakriti Mataji. We have our family business by Srila Vaisheshika Prabhu. There is so much to read, my dear friends. Vedic literature and literature in persons of the Vedic version. So much to read. Where is the time for news, movies, Bollywood, Hollywood, gossip, comments, arguing, debating? Not required. We should become very serious. We should constantly chant and Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chayo, Vangmayam Tapo Uchyate. We should immerse ourselves in Shastra. Then our vision becomes Shastra Chakshu. We can see through the eyes of the scripture, and then we can make spiritual advancement. Otherwise, we will see this world through the eyes of the news anchors who are presenting the news to us, or through the eyes of Hollywood and Bollywood, or through the eyes of the sports stars, cricket, basketball, football, whatnot. That is not what we want to have in our consciousness. When we sit down to chant, if at night we have browsed Facebook and this and that, when we are chanting in the morning, those same thoughts will come, same impressions will come. Why? Instead, before sleeping, if we read Krishna book, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we try to memorize one verse, we try to chant Hare Krishna. I personally love to hear at night the lectures of His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj. I'm so eternally grateful to Maharaj. 2 times a week, 3 times a week, he is churning out beautiful YouTube videos. If you go to Indradumna Swami official YouTube channel, there are no ads also. It's very beautiful. He is speaking on Vrindavan Ras. Vrindavan Ras. So different pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Shri Vrindavan Dham. Different forests of Vrindavan, different sub-forests of Vrindavan, different sub-forests of Vrindavan, different Leela Sthalis. It is amazing. For more than a year, Maharaj has been doing this service for all of us. So why not listen to this Hari Katha? It's just pure nectar. Maharaj tells it with so much devotion, with so much research and authority. It is just heart melting. I pray that at the time of my death, I'm able to remember all these pastimes that we are hearing from our Guru Varga. When we chant, we should get Leela Smaranam, not just dry chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. I have to just pull 16 beads of the Sakshi Mala and finish my 16 rounds. No. Chanting should not be mechanical. Nothing should be mechanical. Chanting should be with deep feeling, in a prayerful mood. Srila Bhurijan Prabhu, he writes in his Japa book, there should be good posture. We should sit cross-legged on an asan. We should have an asan. These are simple things, my dear friends. We must chant on an asan. It can be a simple bed sheet. One devotee gifted me a shawl. So I have kept that shawl as my asan. Because I don't need a shawl. Here everything is heated. So that shawl is an asan. Just any piece of cloth. But you use it only for japa. At the same time, in the same place, every day. Sit in a pavitra place. Sit in a pure place where nothing else is done. We should not chant in the bed. It's full of mode of ignorance. We have slept their whole night. Sometimes I've seen devotees, they just chant in their bed. Wake up, brush their teeth, they sit in the comfortable bed, take a comforter and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. In the darkness, mode of ignorance, they are chanting in the bed, which is filled with mode of ignorance. No. We should get up, we should bathe, we should wear clean clothes, put on 12 tilaks, sit on that asan in a nice place in front of Krishna. So this is from the Pune NVCC temple. They gave this a japa card. So it has got the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our Guru Parampara, Srimati Tulsi Maharani, Panchatattva, Narsinghadev Bhagavan, Gaurnita Jagannath Baldev Sudha, Radha Vrindavan Chandra. Something like that. We can make a card for ourselves. Nice card with the Mahamantra. And then we can chant looking at it with nice absorption. And we should have a good posture. We should have good pronunciation. We should pronounce the Mahamantra nicely. And we should, all the 16 names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And we should have a prayerful heart. There are so many prayers. There is Shikshashtakam. We can meditate on the meanings of those prayers while chanting. So we should have a prayer in our heart. Bhagavatam, there are so many prayers. Savai Manak Krishna Padara Vindayo, Pacham Shikrinani Vaikuntha, Gunanu Varnani, Ambarish Maharaj, there are prayers of Nalakuver Manigiri, there are prayers of the Gopis, prayers of Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, so many, Brahmaji, the Shrutis are offering prayers, the Devatas are offering prayers, Garbhastuti, Gajendra Stuti, there are, Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with prayers. Uttara is coming and praying to Krishna for protection. Kunti Maharani is praying. Bhishma Dev is praying. It's prayer after prayer after prayer. So these prayers have to come in our heart as we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That will increase the depth of our Mahamantra chanting. Because in the day there are only 24 hours. So there is a limit how much we can chant. We can chant 32 rounds, 48 rounds, 64 rounds, 80 rounds, 96 rounds, 128 rounds, 192 rounds, 200 rounds, 250 rounds. There is a limit how much we can chant because there are only 24 hours in a day. And we have some bodily needs also. We have to sleep, we have to bathe, brush, eat. So the quantity of Naam Bhajan that we can do, there is a limitation, my dear friends. From 16 rounds to 200 rounds, there is a limitation how much we can do. But there is no limitation to the depth of chanting. There is a limitation to the length of chanting, but there is no limitation to the depth of chanting. There is a limitation to the quantity of japa, but there is no limitation to the quality of japa. So now we have to focus not only on the quantity, but the quality. How we can chant the absorption. तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतार चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्याम तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई. I don't have anyone else other than you, my dear holy name. Everything else is insignificant. Trinikritya jagat sarvam rajate sakalopari chidanandamayam shuddham harer namaya keval. Trinikritya jagat sarvam, this whole jagat, my bank balance, my job, my health, my visa status, all the problems that I have got, all the issues, all the things to do things, my house, my family, everything. Trinikritya. This whole jagat, our whole world becomes insignificant like a blade of grass. Trinikritya jagat sarvam. The holy name can make all the things that seem like breaking news, important things, this, everything become insignificant. Trinikritya jagat, because we realize all this rat race and running around, what we are doing, it's all nonsense. The holy name makes us realize that this whole jagat is trina, like a blade of grass, it's insignificant. Trinikritya jagat sarvam rajate sakalopari. And the holy name rules over everyone. Rajate sakalopari chidananda mayam shuddham. And it is spiritual. The holy name is spiritual. Chidananda, full of bliss. Chidananda mayam shuddham, and eternally pure. Purna shuddha nitya mukta abhinatva namana. Harer namaya vakya. Trinikritya jagat sarvam rajate sakalopari chidanandamayam shuddham harer namaya kevalam. Therefore, we should seek association of devotees who inspire us to do more Nam Bhajan. Sa guru sa pita chapi sa mata bandhavopi saha shikshaye ched sada smartum harer namaya kevalam. Sa guru sa pita, that person is a guru. That person is a father. Sa guru sa pita chapi sa mata, that lady is a mother. Bandhavopi saha, and that person is a friend. Who? Saguru sapita chapi samata bandhavopi saha shikshaye ched sada smartum. One who teaches us sada smartum, to always remember what? Harer namaya kevalam. So anyone who is inspiring us to always chant and remember Hare Krishna Mahamantra is our friend. Anyone who is inspiring us to do more and more Nam Bhajan constantly is our guru. And anyone who is inspiring us to constantly take shelter of the holy name without any gap, without any cessation, is our mother and father. Otherwise not. Otherwise not. When Shukracharya Maharaj told Bali Maharaj to desist from giving charity to Sri Vamanadev, don't entertain this Vamanadev. He is Vishnu, he will take away everything. Bali Maharaj rejected his guru, Sri Shukracharya, who had saved his life, who had brought him back from death. He rejected him. Sa guru sa pita chapi sa mata bandhavopi sa shikshaye ched smartum harer namaya kevalam. The gopis gave up their husbands and parents and in-laws and children and everyone. Vibhishan gave up his brother. All these examples are there. Sa guru sa pita chapi sa mata bandhavopi sa shikshaye ched smartum harer namaya kevalam. Therefore, we must associate with devotees who inspire us in our Nam Bhajan. That is the secret to success. So with this, I will pause here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari. Thank
Hari
you very much.
Bol.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this powerful and deeply inspiring talk. Personally, I got benefited so much, Prabhuji. I really pray that I take your words to heart and follow. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the lot of devotees watching in Facebook as well. While waiting for questions on Facebook, I'll check with devotees in Zoom. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself and you may ask your questions. And there is a raise hand button. Yes, you can follow that. It'll be easy for us to go in order. So I would like to call Vaibhav Prabhuji. Can you unmute and ask your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the internet. We have some services that we use the internet for. Sometimes we share our Guru Maharaj's Vani, sometimes we share Prabhupada's quotes. But Prabhuji, you are right. There is something or the other that comes in the bottom in advertisement or something. Should we stop, Prabhuji, scrolling down and doing and just follow it as per our seva? Or how to protect ourselves from internet, Prabhuji? If you can give us some tips.
Prabhuji, internet is like it is like entering Lanka. It is like entering Lanka. So we have to just do our service and immediately leave. It is full of danger. And we are not even Hanumanji. Hanumanji could take on all the demons, but we are not like Hanumanji. Therefore, we should do our service and we should immediately leave. Because I told you, internet is like the mind. If the mind is uncontrolled, it is the worst enemy. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. But if the mind is controlled, then it can be the best friend also. So if we are controlled in how we use the internet, then it can be very beneficial. There is one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, I'm forgetting her name. She was in Sri Navadvip Dham towards the end of her life. She had stage 4 cancer. She was leaving her body. And she became so frail, so weak that she could not even lift up Bhagavatam. So she could not read and she was feeling so much separation from Srila Prabhupada's books. So then one of her god sisters, she gifted her computer with Veda base on it, downloaded. So all she had to do with just with a flick of a finger on the mouse, she could just scroll. And over the next 4 or 5 months, she read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And she had tears in her eyes. She said, I have read this so many times, but now I can feel Srila Prabhupada is speaking to me. So she was using internet, she was using computer, but purely for Krishna consciousness. So similarly, we have to use internet purely for Krishna consciousness. It is a very powerful tool, the internet. And therefore, if we don't use it properly, it will overpower us. So we have to have very strict rules. We have to remind ourselves that every page I browse, my Guru Maharaj is watching me. I am doing it for the service of my Guru Maharaj, and which is a fact. Guru Maharaj is watching as Chaitya Guru. Guru Tattva is Akhanda, Akhanda Guru Tattva. So Guru Maharaj is watching. Every page that we browse, Guru Maharaj is watching us. So we have to use, we should think that my Guru Maharaj is right standing over me and watching. Just do our service and leave. That should be our attitude. Otherwise, it will trap us. It's like a game of kabaddi. Kabaddi, but in Krishna consciousness, Krishna, Krishna, Radha, 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 Radha. Before our breath runs out, we have to do our service and come back. Otherwise, we should not get trapped. If we get trapped, then finished. Game over.
Yes.
So internet is like that. We should not get trapped. Once I asked Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj's very glorious disciple, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodar Maharaj, came to Atlanta for Panihati festival 2 years ago. I asked him this question, that how do we protect ourselves? So Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodar Maharaj told me something fantastic. He said, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj used to say that we are spiritual warriors. So he said, it's a war zone. Every moment is a war. We are Krishna's soldiers. We are Mahaprabhu's soldiers in his army. Srila Prabhupada is our general. And all our Guru Varga are the commanders. And there are so many generals. Mahaprabhu's army is huge. So there is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and other disciples also are there. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. Big family. Mahaprabhu's family is very big. There are other sampradayas also. So all these acharyas are there. And we are just a foot soldier. We are just a foot soldier. So it is a war. How in the war we are always on high alert. Yes, and the soldier always carries the sidearm, which is a pistol, and the main weapon, which is a machine gun. So we also have to always carry our Japamala with us. Completely prepared. A soldier always has the body armor. Our armor is Tulsi Mala. She protects us. Vrinda Devi protects us. The Gopi Chandan Vaishnav Tilak protects us. So we have to be always, if we are going to workplace, we cannot put tilak, at least with water. Take few drops of water. That's what I do. Gange, Chemune, Chaiva, Godavari, Saraswati. And I put Dwadash tilak with water, with Ganga Jal. So we are protected. So similar like a soldier we have to be. So when you are entering internet to do service for Guru Maharaj or for Srila Prabhupada, you have to think, I am entering a war zone. There are hidden snipers who are taking aim at me in the form of pop-ups and advertisements and this and that and other internet suggestions. So there are snipers. I have to be very careful. I have to just do my service and take shelter, seek shelter, not expose myself. So we have to be in the mood of a soldier. Anything we see, we have to immediately understand this is Maya's attack. Something that we are not supposed to see on the internet, something comes up. We have to immediately identify that scene as an attack of Maya. Like a soldier will immediately identify, this is not my comrade. This is enemy. I have to be careful. So like that. And a soldier never goes alone. Soldier is always in the association of devotees. So we have to be always in the association of like-minded devotees. Sajatiya Sangha. Always. So therefore, anything we want to do, we should do it in the association of devotees. And we have to be in the mood of being a soldier on a battlefield. Dharma kshetra kurukshetra. We have to be, first of all, we have to make sure we are on Krishna's side, not on the other side. And then we have to be very alert. We have to be very alert. And we have to fight. And then Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will not fall down. But even if, Durdaiva vash, even if unfortunately we have a fall down because of internet, Lord Krishna is there. Api chet suduracharo bhajate ma mananya bhak sadhu reva samantavya samya vyavashito hisa. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shanti nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Even if there is a fall down, a soldier, if the soldier is fighting diligently, but there is some carelessness, he goes into the pocket to get a chewing gum and a bullet hits because of inattentiveness. That's like us having a fall down. The soldier doesn't give up. Oh, I have been hit now. I give up. I surrender. No. The soldier will fall down. He will take cover. Immediately he will bandage that wound, pick up his weapon and start shooting back. And the other comrades will come to the rescue. Leave no man behind. Leave no soldier behind. They will pick you up. They will give you cover. They will start shooting where the bullets are coming from and take you to a secure place. So even if we have fall down, we have to realize, what mistake did I do? What mistake did I do? And we should rectify. I criticized this devotee. That's why these bad thoughts are coming. Oh, I was watching that movie. I was watching those highlights. That's why I wasted time. That's why I had a fall down. So we have to see what was that mistake that we committed, which made us have a fall down, and never repeat it. That soldier will never put his hand for chewing gum in the middle of the battle next time, because he has learned his lesson. He has got hit. So we may get hit. We have got the armor. Apichet suduracharo bhajate maman. We will not die. We are going to win. Vaibhav Prabhu. Victory is going to be ours. That is guaranteed. Because Daiviyesha gunamai mama maya durataya mamevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantiti. Krishna has said, those who surrender to me will win over Maya. And Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan sei kare prabhu kare tare atma sam. At the time of Guru Padashraya, we have surrendered. At the time of Diksha, we have surrendered. So victory is ours. There is no doubt about it. We are going to win over Maya. It's just that we don't have to give up. We have to chant diligently. We have to be in the attitude of a spiritual warrior. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj wrote a book, Spiritual Warrior.
Yes.
We are warriors. We are soldiers. So we have to be on high alert. We have to take shelter of fellow soldiers, follow the orders of our commander, our Guru Varga. And even if we are hit, we should not give up. We should get up and fight, because we are going to win. Because Krishna is there with us. Guru Maharaj is there with us. So we should have confidence. We should have positive attitude, but we should be very careful. High alert. Just do our service and take shelter of Bhagavatam. Take shelter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Take shelter of Harikatha. We should have a parallel tab open. Vedabase, ISKCON Desire Tree. So we can take shelter. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Jai Srila Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's a blessing to hear from you, Prabhuji. Do we have time for a couple of more questions, Prabhuji?
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Diviti Prabhu, I would request you to go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you, Ramkumar Prabhuji. Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. It was very uplifting class. For me personally, I consider the takeaway points, but taking Krishna consciousness, specifically chanting and reading Shastra is wonderful point, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I think you hit the mute button by mistake, or you're muted.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Yes, now I can.
So, Prabhuji, I had one personal question. I've been hearing about you so much, and I'm aspiring to follow your footsteps. I had one question on that, Prabhuji. When you chant 64 rounds, what time do you start? How do you handle every day, Prabhuji? I just wanted to aspire for that, so just thought of asking that.
Prabhuji, actually, I am very insignificant. There are devotees who are chanting much more than me, and I am not talking about my dincharya, talking about my schedule will not be very inspiring. But I would like to tell you about how other devotees are doing it, not myself. See, even Srila Prabhupada, he had such a fixed schedule. He would wake up practically at 12:30 at night, and then he would do translation work. Then he would start chanting from literally 3:30 to the morning walk time. He would be chanting Srila Prabhupada. Then on morning walk also he would be speaking Krishna Katha. Then he would come back. He would give the Bhagavatam class in the temple. And in this whole day, Srila Prabhupada had a fixed schedule. And Srila Prabhupada's personal servant, Shrutakirti Prabhu, he writes that wherever Srila Prabhupada went, in whichever time zone, it was as if jet lag never affected Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada went from one time zone to another time zone, immediately Srila Prabhupada would adjust and follow the time of that place. Oh, it is 12 o'clock, it's time for Gayatri. So you prepare my lunch, I will chant my Gayatri. Prabhupada will go take a bath, he would come and do his Gayatri. So he would just get into the routine. So therefore, for devotees to have a dinacharya, to have a timetable schedule is very, very important. So I will tell you the schedule of one devotee. He is in Australia. He works in IT job. He has got 2 children. His wife is a homemaker. So 4 of them, they live. I forget the city that they live in. I think it's Perth. It's not Melbourne. It's either Sydney or Perth. And he is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. So he wakes up in the morning at 3 o'clock, and then he takes his shower, and he also sits on the asana, and then he chants for 4 hours straight, continuously chants for 4 hours. So, and then so 3:30 to 7:30 he chants. Then he gets up. In half an hour, he does his puja. He has Shaligram Shila at home, so he does Abhishek and puja. And then around 8:15, his office bus comes to take him to the office. Office is a little far away, so the office bus comes. So then he takes his lunch box, breakfast, everything he packs, and he sits. And in the bus, he starts playing Harikatha with his headphones on. He hears Krishna Katha, and he takes his breakfast. So while eating breakfast, also the consciousness is, I'm hearing Krishna Katha and eating Krishna Prasad. So that just goes very deep in the heart, and it does very nice purification. Instead of eating, nowadays there is a concept of work while lunch, isn't it? So in the office they will do something, and you're eating lunch also, and work also is going on. That is not, because then what we are eating, we are taking it inside our consciousness. And then if we are doing work-related things, then only that will be in the consciousness. But while eating, if we are hearing Krishna Katha, then that will purify the consciousness very nicely. So he does that. Then he goes to the office, and Prabhu from 9 to 5, he's like a pakka IT guy. He's working in his whatever his profession is as an engineer. But then he gets a lunch break. Again, lunch break, he doesn't go to the common room where everybody is gossiping and chatting and ha ha hoo. No, he goes to a secluded place. He sits alone. He does his Gayatri. And then again he puts Harikatha and takes his lunch, which is Krishna Prasad, packed from home by his wife. And so he does that. Then again, after lunch break, half an hour, he goes back to work and works like a regular person, like you and me. And then on the way back, again, he hears Harikatha and he chants some extra rounds in the bus. And then he comes home. And then when he comes home at 5:30, 5:45, till his bedtime, he is completely family man. Whatever needs to be done in the house, something is broken, something grocery has to be bought, taking kids homework, playing with the children, spending time with his wife, doing Gaur Aarti together as the whole family. They will do Gaur Aarti in the evening together. Gaur Aarti, Narsimha Aarti with the whole family. That is 15-20 minutes of family prayer time together. And then he puts his kids to bed, bedtime story, everything is a family man. And then just before going to bed, he and his wife, 15 minutes before they sleep, they will read Chaitanya Charitamrita together. So the last thing you do before sleeping is Krishna conscious. So it is so beautiful. He chants 64 rounds. And then every Friday, once a week, he gives a class in the evening. After coming back from the office, he has a Bhakti Vriksha. And for 1 hour, he speaks Harikatha. And then Saturday, Sunday, he is doing service in the temple. He's hearing from other speakers. So now, Divya Tirtha Prabhu, tell me, what must be the quality of that Harikatha? He has chanted more than 64 rounds every day. Such a pure life. And then whatever Harikatha is hearing, whatever reading he does, he speaks that condensed in 1 hour every Friday.
Beautiful.
This is life, Prabhu. So we should have such devotees as ideal. I am not an example, but such devotees we should have. I am forgetting the name of this devotee, but yeah, very wonderful example. There are many such examples like this. There is one devotee that I know here in Atlanta. Every Ekadashi he chants 3 lakh, 192. A family man. He has 2 children. He works IT job. Very successful in his career also. He's from BITS Pilani, one of the prestigious engineering institutes. He's a very dear friend of Ram Kumar. But I will not tell his name because it might embarrass him. But very, very wonderful devotee. So he has been doing that. So there are so many such examples. I am nothing, Prabhu. So we should keep the example of such devotees in our mind. And there's another god brother of Srila Prabhupada. He had a very amazing lifestyle, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. So he would wake up at 2 o'clock, Prabhu, and for 1 hour, after he would wake up before 2 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, he would be on his asana, bathed and tilak and everything. And 2 to 3 for 1 hour, he would read Ashtakams. So Shad Goswami Ashtakam, Krishna Kirtana Ganana, then Yamuna Ashtakam, Radhika Ashtakam, Nandanandana Ashtakam, Radha Kripa Katakshakstava, and different prayers like Gopi Geet, Brahmar Geet from Srimad Bhagavatam, different Vandanam, glorifying different prayers. Prahlad Stuti, Bhishma Stuti, different, he had assortment of prayers. And for 1 hour, from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., he would chant. He would chant these Ashtakams and different prayers. Because that creates such a powerful, prayerful mood. And then 3 a.m., he would start chanting Japa. And he would chant straight till 9 o'clock. From 3 to 6 hours, he would chant. It would take him 6 hours to chant 64 rounds. Because most devotees can do around 10 rounds in an hour. So he would do 64 rounds in 6 hours. So from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m., he would chant 64 rounds. Then at 9 o'clock, he would get up and his disciples would prepare all the paraphernalia for his Shaligram Seva. He also used to worship Shaligram Shilas. And then he would sit for 1.5 hours, sit down on his asan, and he would worship, deity worship, Shaligram Seva. And while he was doing, disciples would be reading Srimad Bhagavatam. They would be reading about the lectures of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur from the Harmonist magazine and other places. They would be reading, and he would be doing his puja. And then after finishing his puja at 10:30, 11 o'clock, he would take his breakfast. Hare Krishna. And then after taking his breakfast at 11 o'clock, in half an hour, then he would answer the questions of the devotees. If devotees have any questions, he would give his association, answer their questions. And then whatever temple management, mutt management question, because he was the founder acharya of their mutt. So he would take care of all the management things. And then again, he would sit down with Srimad Bhagavatam. And for hours and hours, he would read Srimad Bhagavatam. And then evening again, some more japa, some more kirtan, and then take rest like that. And again, wake up at 1:30. So also, His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's disciple and one of our Gurugan. His disciple, Shri Vrindavan Maharaj. Vrindavan Maharaj is a sannyas disciple of Srila Radha Govind Maharaj. He was telling in one of the offerings that Srila Radha Govind Maharaj, he would wake up in the morning early, he would chant his full morning program, and then he would go to the holy place, like on the bank of the river Yamuna, and he would read. Now this is incredible. Please listen very attentively. Srila Radha Govind Maharaj, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, such a great soul. He would read one canto of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. In 12 days, Srila Radha Govind Maharaj would finish reading the entire Srimad Bhagavatam in 12 days. And this Dincharya, this timetable, this schedule, he followed for years and years and years. Reading one canto of Srimad Bhagavatam every day and memorizing one chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. There are 335 chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in 1 year, the entire Bhagavatam is kanthastha. Less than 1 year. So therefore, there is one video, Srila Radha Govind Maharaj coming for to give Bhagavatam class, and Srimad Bhagavatam is not there. Or they had kept like the wrong volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the verse was something else. So he asked, which verse are we supposed to speak on today? So they said, third canto, this chapter, this verse. The Bhagavatam was not there. So he said, okay, let's start. And he started, Shri Shuka Uvacha. He knew the verse and the translation by memory. Without looking in the Bhagavatam, he gave a Bhagavatam class. This is Srila Radha Govind Maharaj. And then you see the quality of his disciples. Srila Radha Raman Maharaj, Srila Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj, our Amarendra Prabhu, Hari Parshad Prabhu, Lal Govind Prabhu. So all these great devotees are being churned out. Why? Because Shri Guru. This is the caliber of Shri Guru. He has completely digested and assimilated Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore anybody he touches starts speaking Bhagavatam. So this is the importance of having a timetable, a schedule, and being fixed in our sadhana. So is that okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is very, 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 very enlightening. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Really grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Very, very inspiring, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this. I see Praveen Prabhu, you are ready. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev. Very inspiring, very inspiring class and very enlightening. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I feel like so inspiring today by your talk and examples that you gave. So my question is like around like when we chant first round, there is a quality of the first round is better. It's my personal experience, but when I finish my round, last round is little different. So how do we keep quality of all the rounds like super quality? What I feel is like certain initial rounds are good. I mean, we get absorbed, but then again, mind, distracts so much in the middle or at the end, and it just bewilders so much that we are not able to keep the same quality. And there is a lamentation in the heart again. I did few round good, but later I could not keep the same quality, and there is always that lamentation in the heart. So how do we keep the same quality from first round till last round with enthusiasm and with the same spirit of absorption?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Praveen Prabhu, for this very nice question. So when we sit down to do our japa, we have to understand that suppose we are chanting for 2 hours in the morning. Those 2 hours, our japa, the quality of our japa will depend on what we have done in the remaining 22 hours. So if during japa our mind is going here and there, that is because of certain mistakes that we have done. Either we have eaten something that is not Krishna Prasad, or something that has been cooked by someone who is not a devotee of Krishna. For sure. Otherwise, the mind will not run here and there. So we have to examine our life. If during japa the mind is going here and there, number one, either we have eaten something that is not pure Krishna Prasad, for sure. Second, Either we have browsed something, either news or sports, or we have read some gossip on Facebook, something that is not required, some criticism, in some comments, something we have basically wasted our time reading or hearing something that we are not supposed to do. So because garbage in, garbage out, garbage in, garbage out, nectar in, nectar out, nectar in, nectar out. It's like that. So if we take in nonsense, then during japa nonsense will happen. So 22 hours of a day we have to live in such a way that during those 2 hours we are completely absorbed. We are completely absorbed. Now this is difficult because mind is uncontrolled. You are absolutely right. Chanchalahi mana Krishna. Chanchalahi mana Krishna. Pramadi balavadridam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the mind is very chanchal. And that's exactly what you are saying, that the mind goes here and there. So Krishna himself gives the solution in Bhagavad Gita in the next verse. What does Lord Krishna say? Asamshaya mahabaho mana durnigraham dhram. That yes, without any doubt, Arjun, you are right. The mind is very difficult to control. Chanchalahi mana Krishna pramadi balavadridam. Asamshaya mahabaho. Yes, definitely, my dear Arjun, mind is very difficult to control. But abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihati. Now, Praveen Prabhu, listen very carefully to this. Krishna says, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihati. If you do these two things, then the mind will be controlled during japa. What are the two things? Abhyas. Abhyas means what we were talking about. Having a proper schedule and a routine. And doing things that we are supposed to do. So there are two things. Anukulyasya sankalpa and pratikulyasya varjanam. What is anukul, what is favorable, we accept it. What is unfavorable, we give it up. Correct? This is Rupa Goswami says. These are the two limbs of Sharanagati. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. So abhyas means to do what is anukul for bhakti, to do what is favorable for bhakti. So tell me a few things that are favorable for bhakti. One is chanting our rounds attentively. Yes. What else you think is favorable for Krishna consciousness?
Hearing
Krishna Hari-katha.
Associating with the devotees.
Associating with devotees, serving devotees.
Yeah. Going to the temples.
Correct. Going to the temples, taking darshan.
Deity worship.
Very nice. Very important. Engaging ourselves in deity worship at home or in the temple. Reading Srila Prabhupada's book, Swadhyaya.
Yes.
So these are things that are favorable for bhakti. To do these things is abhyas. Krishna says, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihati. So abhyas means to do things that are favorable, that are anukul. Anukula sankalpa is abhyas. Pratikulyasya varjanam. And what is unfavorable for bhakti, to give that up, is vairagya. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena. Vairagya means to give up things that are unfavorable. So anything that will create a difficulty for you during your chanting, during your japa, nam bhajan, we should give it up. And if we sit down and introspect, today my chanting was not good. What did I do wrong? Oh, I had a fight with that devotee. That's why. Vaishnava Prana. So if we analyze, oh, I ate that cheese pizza in the office that was being offered. It was vegetarian, but it was not prasad. So if we think like that, immediately we'll come to know. Oh, I had a Coca-Cola. It had caffeine. That's why, my mind is agitated. So if we sit down and we analyze, some truti, some mistake has happened, that will immediately come. If we pray to Krishna, Krishna will reveal immediately, this is what you did. And we come to know. So that we should not do. That is vairagya. To give up things that are unfavorable, that is vairagya. So if we live our 22 hours in a day in such a way that Krishna will be pleased with us, then when we sit down for japa, Prabhuji, I'm telling you honestly, when we sit down for japa, Krishna will keep our focus on the Mahamantra. We cannot keep our focus, but Krishna will help us in such a way, will reciprocate in such a way that our 2 hours will pass away, will not even come to know. It is 6:40. Already 2 hours are over. I want to chant more. Like that will happen. Because Krishna will help you focus. Krishna will help us focus on the Naam. If we have lived the remaining 22 hours of our life in a way that is pleasing to Krishna. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihati. So therefore, Prabhuji, chanting, focusing on the Mahamantra for the full 2 hours, it depends on what we have done in the remaining 22 hours out of 24 hours. So if we are mindful of that, we eat Krishna Prasad, we associate with devotees, we do Swadhyaya, we don't criticize anybody, we don't commit Vaishnava Aparadh, then when we sit down, Prabhu, there will be no Badha. It will be free flowing Naam. The Naam will just flow. That is one thing. Second thing, I'll just mention 2 points in response to your question. So first point was that we have to be careful of what we are doing the remaining 22 hours to make those 2 hours of japa very nice and concentrated. That is one. Second point is while we are chanting, for the entire 2 hours, we have to be in a prayerful mood. So I have tried many different techniques. I have done Leela Smaranam during japa and many other things also. And I still do. But the majority of my time as I do japa, it is basically meditating on the prayers called Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. Shikshashtakam prayers that are given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there are 8, I have said this many times in my presentations, there are 8 verses in Shikshashtakam, and we have to chant at least 16 rounds. So 2 rounds we can chant meditating on 1 verse of Shikshashtakam. So first verse, Chetodarpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadava, that verse, we can meditate on the prayer in that verse for 2 rounds. So the prayer can be Chetodarpana Marjanam, Krishna, please purify me. So 2 rounds, our meditation is Krishna, please purify me. There are so many attacks by lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego, tendency to criticize others, Vaishnava Aparadh, Nam Aparadh, Dham Aparadh, Seva Aparadh. I don't want all this. Purify me of all this. Please purify me. Chetodarpana Marjanam. Bathe me, purify me. So that can be prayer, sincere prayer for becoming purified can be the meditation for 2 rounds. Then second verse of Shikshashtakam, meditating for 2 rounds. So third and fourth round. Like that, if full 16 rounds, we have got a curriculum. In school, if we have a curriculum, then we are on track, right? So if we have a curriculum that, okay, for 2 rounds, I'm going to meditate on this verse, the prayer in this verse, then prayer on that verse, prayer on this verse, like that. Then full 16 rounds we are absorbed. Because we have a to-do list. So in the sadhak stage, in our initial stage that we are in now, this type of methods are useful. But as we make advancement, then naturally there is Leela Smarana. Naturally the Leela, it becomes Spurit, it manifests in our consciousness as we are chanting the holy name. Because the holy name is non-different from Krishna Leela. Gauranam, Gauradham, Gaura Rupa Gun, Aparadhana Himane Tarite Nipun. So the Krishna name is not different from Krishna, not different from Krishna's Dham, Krishna's Leela. So that Leela Smaran automatically happens. Like Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Shri Rupa Lavanya Rashi Amiya Poriche Khasi Hasya Pari Hasya Sambhashane Narottama Dasa Kohe Nitya Leela Sukha Mohe Sadai Spuruka Ramane. May this Nitya Leela always be Spurit, always be manifest in my mind, my heart. So that stage will come. But as soon as we start chanting Hare Krishna, we are seeing Krishna Leela, we are seeing Krishna's roop, his form, because it is non-different. That is the stage of Shuddhanam chanting. There is Namaprad, there is Namabhas, and there is Shuddhanam. Yeah. So when pure devotee is chanting Shuddhanam, they can see Krishna's form, they can see Krishna's Leela. But in our sadhak stage, we have to avoid Namaprads. Therefore, we try to recite them 10 offenses before we chant. So our mind is, we remember. So we should avoid Namaprad, and at least we should be able to chant Namabhas. Namabhas is semblance of the pure name. It is a reflection of the pure name, or it is a shadow of the pure name. There is Pratibimba Namabhas and there is Chaya Namabhas. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. There are 2 types of Namabhas. But anyway, we don't have to get into technical details. But we should at least be able to chant Namabhas. If we do Namabhas chanting nicely, then slowly, after Anartha Nivritti, we can chant Shuddhanam. So 2 things that we discuss is, one is remaining 22 hours, we should not do anything that is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, that is Vairagya. And remaining 22 hours, we should live our life in a way that will be favorable for Nam Bhajan, and that is Abhyas. Being nice to devotees, doing Vaishnava Seva, not criticizing anybody, reading Prabhupada's books, hearing Harikatha. Then when we sit down for chanting, our chanting will be very nice. And second point is that for all the 16 rounds, we should have a meditation. In this, because we are sadhakas, na? Sadhakas need these rules and regulations. When we reach the platform of Raganuga Bhakti, then it is spontaneous. But now, in our sadhak stage, we should have such meditations for all the 16 rounds, 2 rounds for each verse of Shikshashtakam, something like that. Is that helpful, Praveen Prabhu?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful. I like the, like your example you gave, like each verse 2 rounds. It's like a discipline. So you won't feel, your mind knows what I need to do next. So thank you so much. It's
another
very helpful.
technique. Hare Krishna. Another technique, Prabhu, is our acharyas have given the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There are 16 names in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they have given meaning of each name. So another way of meditating is mantra artha chintanam, to do meditation on the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Gopal Guru Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all these acharyas, they have given meanings of all the 16 names in the Mahamantra. What is the first Hare? What is the meaning of the first Krishna? What is the meaning of the second Hare? What is the meaning of second Krishna, third Krishna, fourth Krishna, third Hare, fourth Hare? It is there. And it is all there. I read it in His Holiness Mahanidhi Maharaj's book, The Art of Chanting Hare Krishna. But it is also there on kksongs.com, krishnakirtansongs.com, the website. If you look under Gopal Guru Goswami, under Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, under Srila Jiva Goswami, you will find. So that mantra artha chintanam can also be done. But again, that requires some practice. But this Shikshashtakam, I have found it very helpful, Prabhu. And you were talking about the last rounds. So Shikshashtakam prayers, they reach a zenith towards the end, because last 2 verses are spoken by Srimati Radhika Rani. So actually the last few rounds become even more intense when you are meditating that. Yatha tatha vidhatu lampato mat prananathastu sevanapara. Krishna, you can do whatever you want with me. That takes some guts to pray like that. Because we know what devotees have gone through. What Pandavas went through, what Draupadi Devi went through, what Uttara went through, what the gopis of Vrindavan went through, what Srimati Radharani went through, what Yashodananda Maharaj went through, what Devaki Vasudeva Maharaj went through. And so to pray like that you can do whatever you want with me, but you are my Lord, birth after birth. So the last few rounds become even more intense. So like that.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you so much. I would save my words for later, Prabhuji. I beg, can we take one more question that is coming from His Grace Shyam Kishore Prabhuji? Thank you so much. Go ahead, Shyam Kishore Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All goes Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, you mentioned this this point that Srila Prabhupada says we should chant constantly, and I've read in many purports. And Prabhupada uses the word should. So it's very, very powerful. And speaking for myself, many times when I'm engaging in services, I forget to take the name. And what can I do so that I can constantly keep the name on my tongue?
Hare Krishna. This question appears in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells the devotees that all day we are doing kirtan, but at night we are sleeping. But kirtane sadahari, we are supposed to chant all the time. So from today, all day we will chant, and all night in Srivasangan we will have kirtan. For 1 year we will do it every night. So 24 hours a day we will be chanting. So the devotees are very enthusiastic and they are very eager to follow Mahaprabhu's orders. But then they ask a very practical question. They say, but Mahaprabhu, how is it possible to constantly chant Hare Krishna? How is it possible? Because we have to sleep. We have to, the human body, it requires sleep. So how can we do day and night kirtan? It is in that context, my dear friends, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke the verse. Trinadape sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahari. Mahaprabhu said that if we are very humble, extremely tolerant, like the blade of grass and like a tree, respectively, we do not expect any respect for ourselves and we give all respect to others. If we live in this attitude of humility, tolerance, pridelessness, and respectfulness, only then there will be no resistance of Maya, and we will be able to chant continuously. And then Mahaprabhu says, now take this verse and tie it around your kantha, tie it around your neck. And the devotees literally and figuratively, they did that. And then they were able to chant day and night. So Mahaprabhu is answering this very important question that you are raising, Prabhu, that how while doing our day-to-day activity, how we can always keep the Naam vibrating, like Roop and Anupam, they're keeping their tongue always vibrating, like Srila Haridas Thakur always kept his tongue vibrating, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How do we do that? We cannot do it. We have to understand that we cannot do it. But Krishna can make us do it. If we become Krishna's puppets, if we become Krishna's puppet, then Krishna can make our tongue dance with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra constantly. And when will Krishna do that? When we become his willing puppets, when we give the strings of our life to Krishna. Krishna, I am yours. I am yours. Tavaya vasmi, tavaya vasmi. I am yours, I am yours. Sakrideva prapannoyam, tavasmiti sayachate, abhayam sarvada tasmai, dadami dadmrutam. Srila Prabhupada prayed like that. On the Jaladuta, Srila Prabhupada did not pray that Krishna make me a guru. Krishna make me a Jagat Guru. Krishna make me a Parivrajaka Krishna make me the founder Acharya of an international society. Prabhupada did not pray for any of those things. What did Srila Prabhupada pray on Jaladuta? Aniyacho jadi Prabhu amare nachate, nachao nachao Prabhu nachao sema. Kashtera putali jata, nachao se mate, nachao nachao Prabhu, nachao se mate. Ani acho jadi Prabhu. My dear Lord, now that you have brought me here to the Boston, city of Boston in Connecticut, you have brought me here. And Srila Prabhupada saw the skyline. He wrote this. Ani acho jadi Prabhu. Now that you have brought me here, I have no experience of being abroad. I have no experience of speaking English with the American accent. I don't have any followers. I don't have any supporters here. I don't have any money. I don't have any contacts. I don't have a place. I don't have my godbrothers with me. I don't even have all my books with me. I have come so far away from my 2 little rooms in Radha Damodar temple. I'm all alone. My dear Krishna, now that you have brought me here, Ani acho jadi Prabhu, amare nachate. Now that you have brought me here, now make me dance. Now make me dance. And how make me dance? Make me dance the way you want me to dance. Nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao, sema. Kashtera putali. Kashtha means wood. Putali means puppet. Kashtera putali jata nachao semate. Nachao semate, the way you want. Not the way I want. The way you want. I am yours. I don't have any demands. I just want to dance the way you want me to dance. So if we have this type of Sharanagati, that Krishna, I am yours. Dainya Atma Nivedana Goptritve Varana Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasa Palana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara. There are 6 limbs of Sharanagati. We discussed 2 limbs, Anukula, Sankalpa, Pratikula, Varjanam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing based on Rupa Goswami's teachings that Dainya, we should have humility. Trinadapi Sunichena. See how it maps to Shikshashtakam, to Mahaprabhu's answer. Dainya means humility. Atma Nivedana, to completely surrender to Krishna. Dainya Atma Nivedana Goptritve Varana, and accepting Krishna as my maintainer. My maintainer is not my bank balance. My maintainer is not my employer. My maintainer is not my insurance policy. No, my maintainer is Krishna. Goptritve Varana, to accept Krishna as one's maintainer. Goptritve Varana, Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasa Palam. Having full confidence that Krishna will protect me. My dear friends, you will cry You will cry when you will hear this. When Bhimsen told Yudhishthira Maharaj, brother, just give me permission. I will kill these 100 brothers single-handedly right now in the Kuru Sabha. How dare Dushasan touches the hair of Draupadi and her sari. Just give me permission, Yudhishthira Maharaj. I will kill these 100 brothers single-handedly. And Bhim had the strength to do that. He had the capability to kill Dushasan. Dushasan was like a little mouse compared to the lion-like strength of Bhim. And he proved that on the battle of Kurukshetra later on. How he asked him, which hand was it with which you held Draupadi's hair? And Dushasan said, this hand. And Bhim grabbed that hand and plucked it out, ripped apart his chest, pulled out his heart, and squeezed and drank the blood of Dushasan. Dushasan was helpless. This was the strength of Bhim. With one blow, he fractured both the femurs of Duryodhana. This world of orthopedics has never seen such a fracture. One blow of his mace fractured both the hips of Duryodhana, and he fell down and bled to death overnight. This was the power of Bhim. And Bhim had the power. He said, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dushasan is dragging Draupadi Devi. Give me permission. I will kill Dushasan. I will kill all the brothers. And anybody who tries to stop me, I will kill them. Just give me permission. And he got up. And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, if you do that, that will be an insult to Bhishma Dev. It will be an insult to Dronacharya. It will be an insult to Dhritarashtra, because they are all keeping quiet. So if I order you, I will be overriding them. They are presiding over this sabha. I am not presiding. So it is their duty to give you permission. But they are silent. Bhishma Dev is silent. Nobody is helping us, Bhim. But I tell you, Krishna will definitely help Draupadi. Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasapa. This is the meaning. Yudhishthira Maharaj had full confidence that nobody is helping us, but Krishna will help us. Bhim, just sit down and watch. Krishna will protect Draupadi. And on this, at the same time, Draupadi also had the same confidence. Dushasan was mocking and taunting her. Draupadi, who is going to save you? My Krishna will save me, she said. Don't you know I am Krishna's Sakhi? I am Krishna's friend. He will save me. Dushasan laughed. This is not Dwarka or Mathura. This is Hastinapur. This is our capital. This is our city. Your Krishna is sitting in Dwarka. He is Dwarkavasi. He cannot come here. But Draupadi had full confidence that my Krishna will definitely save me, definitely protect me. Our Shastra says, Agre Kurunam Atha Pandavanam Dushasanena Ritavastra Kesha Krishna Tadakroshadananyanatha Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. Having no other Lord, Ananyanath, she called Lord Govinda Damodar. Govinda Dwarakavasi Krishna Gopi Janapriya Kauravair Paribhutan Mam Kim na Jana Si Keshava. Dushasan said, Keshava doesn't even know that you are being disrobed. He's in Dwarka. So Draupadi Devi prayed. These are Draupadi Devi's words from Mahabharata. Govinda Dwarakavasi. Yes, I know Govinda is Dwarkavasi. Krishna Gopi Janapriya. But he is my Krishna and he is Gopi Janapriya. He is very dear to the gopis of Vrindavan. Krishna Gopi Janapriya. Kauravair Paribhutan Mam. The Kauravas are humiliating me. Kim na jana si Keshava. Oh Keshav, what is it that you don't know? You know everything. Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasapa. She had full faith that Krishna will protect her. And when we have these qualities of Sharanagati, then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahara tahara prarthana shune Shri Nanda Kumar. Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahara. Anyone who has these 6 limbs of Sharanagati, tahara prarthana shune Shri Nanda Kumar. That person's prayer will be answered by Nanda Kumar Krishna, by Krishna Nanda Nanda Krishna. So to answer your question, Prabhuji, that how we can always chant Krishna Nam. We don't have the ability to chant Krishna Nam constantly, but Krishna can give us that ability. The pure devotees can give us that ability. If we have these 6 limbs of Sharanagati. If we try our best to practice these 6 limbs of Sharanagati, humility, accepting Krishna as our maintainer, surrendering completely to Krishna, having full faith and confidence that Krishna is always our well-wisher, Suridam Sarvabhutanam, always our protector. He is Dharma Gupta. He is our protector. And Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyara Svikara, doing things that are favorable for Bhakti. And Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjan Angikara, giving up things that are unfavorable for Bhakti. If we do these 6 things that constitute real Sharanagati, then Kirtaniya Sadahari. Then Krishna will give us the ability to always chant Hare Krishna. It is not in our power. It is not in our power. But Krishna, Guru and Krishna can give us that ability to always chant if we are humble, if we avoid Vaishnava Aparadha at all cost. During my second initiation, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he gave me instructions, 2 instructions. One was to spread the sweetness of Krishna consciousness. And second, he ordered me, do not criticize anyone. Do not criticize anyone. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Bhagavat that if we become anindak, if we give up criticism of anyone, devotee, non-devotee, just don't criticize. If we give up criticism and we chant Krishna Nam, by doing these 2 things, Mahaprabhu will take us back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. This is Mahaprabhu's promise in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. We have to do only 2 things. Don't criticize anyone and always chant Hare Krishna. Just chant Hare Krishna. Mahaprabhu will take us back home, back to Godhead. So if we are humble, we give up all criticism. Criticism also means reading criticism, hearing criticism, and of course speaking criticism and thinking criticism. If we give up Ninda, criticizing and finding faults in others, and we simply chant Hare Krishna, Mahaprabhu will be so happy with us that just like he gave the ability to Sri Haridas Thakur, to Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Anupam, he will give us the ability to always chant the holy name. And Srila Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. In the 2019 Kartik Yatra, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he explained the importance of chanting Hare Krishna and what Hare Krishna Mahamantra does to us. What are the effects of chanting Hare Krishna? And then he smiled and said, Srila Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And then Maharaj looked down and said, perhaps these were the most profound words ever spoken. Hare Krishna. Perhaps these were the most profound words ever spoken. Such simple words. Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. But what is that happiness? Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Anandam buddhivardhanam chadipunam kaivalya nistarakav vande rupa sanatanu raghuyu Shri Jiva Gopal. This Anand is an ocean of pure bliss, unending happiness. Just by chanting Hare Krishna we can achieve it. So understanding that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is our true friend, is our only savior, and inculcating these qualities of Sharanagati, Krishna, if he is pleased with us, then he will give us the ability to Kirtaniya Sadahari, to always chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So is that okay, Prabhuji? Shankeshwar Prabhu?
Thank you so much for that. Hopefully, by your blessings, I can make some advancement in this connection because you are so dear to the holy name.
That's also.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Adi Gadadhar Prabhuji. I cannot thank you enough. I think the only thing I can say is after taking down so many points from your today's Bhagavatam, this is probably the best use of technology that we have done in last couple of hours, and it's a very very apt benchmark that we can use, that unless we are getting this much nourishment from social media, there is absolutely no need to associate with social media. So that is just to say that was just first of your points. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. I cannot describe in words how much I'm grateful, and I'm sure all of us are so grateful to get some association from you, Prabhuji. Very, very grateful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Ramkumar Prabhu. you for accepting my humble service, even though I am not qualified. Very grateful to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay. We would like to thank Adi Gadadhar Prabhu in our traditional way of 3 times chanting Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Jai Shri Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
grateful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.